Hi everyone, Nancy with That Treasure Home, and welcome back to the channel. Y'all notice anything? I got new glasses. So we are going to use our clapper. Hit the phone. So this is Our Treasure Home Survival Seas Finale 2025 Take 1. Kind of like End of Garden Season 2. There we go. So that down real quick so I can move this over here. So what I went and did with my seeds, I didn't go back and put them in the exact packages they came in, but I went through and looked at the package. So this one I did not. That wasn't the cucumber that I grew. So what I did, I went back with my notebook and I looked. So the mammoth radish, I put a yes. If it grew, I put a yes. The toothache plant, I don't know. I still don't know. You know, the big green thing that's up there in the front, I still don't know what that is. So that's a question mark. The Jimmy Napella pepper, I put a question mark. It really didn't do anything. And I still think it's because the smaller containers had the back to root soil in it and it had grubs in it already for some reason or another, and that's the way it came. So I'll tell you my plans for next year. The sweet marjoram, it did grow. The pepper plant just hit it a lot and I didn't get a chance to harvest it that much so it could, you know, keep going. So I will plant that next year. The lupine mussel mix, yeah, that didn't do anything either. This is, okay, this is corn. This is not the, no, this is not the corn I planted twice. Yeah. The English lavender, it didn't do anything either. Now the yellow squash, yellow scallop squash, it grew flowers, but that's all it did. It didn't produce any squash whatsoever. So I guess it was all male flowers and it's just a dud. So I was told to plant another seed, plant another one. I would like to. I probably will. I'll probably just pull that one out and plant another one just to see what happens. Now the bells of Ireland. Oh my goodness, those are so beautiful. They're out front and they are huge. I mean, I thought it was only going to stay that tall. They're like, you know, at least a couple, 2 feet tall. And they're so pretty, but I will tell you, they've got tiny thorns that you can't see. So if you go to handle them or whatever, make sure you wear gloves. My stevia, yes, it did grow about like that and it had a few leaves, but it was stevia. So that was pretty cool. Now, I did not try this, the Trombosini squash. I didn't try that one. I did plant the mullein and I planted evening primrose. Twice I planted out in a container out back and I put some seeds down up front. Nothing. So we gotta give this another go next year. Who knows, it might just went dormant and next year it'll sprout all by itself. Alright, the calendula mix, yes, it did grow. It was in the small container up front and it did grow and everything. Not no big flowers, but the flowers were, you know, nice and everything. And I did harvest some and Anastasia had them upstairs. And it continued for a while till we didn't get no rain. And I would water it, but it just seemed like, so those 2 containers up front, I'll tell you what I do with them next year. The yellow pear tomato, yes, yes, yes indeed. Overall, I would say about 40 to 50, maybe more than that, because there were little ones that I took down when I took the plant out, and so I could plant for the fall. That was still on there and everything, so it was still producing, you know, way later. And the root was 2 feet, probably 2.5 feet, because it went down to the whiskey barrel and it, you know, it curved down at the bottom, and I just couldn't get the rest of it out. So who knows, I might have a volunteer tomato plant next year. This zucchini I did not plant. And the cinnamon romaine lettuce, yes, I got a lot of that. I will probably be planting more in the springtime, you know, when it's cooler and everything. So, let's go. There we go. Alright, now, those are not for now. So, I went ahead and planted the yellow lemon squash. That's my fall garden. It's about this tall. So, it is growing. It's in that container, one of those smaller containers. So then I planted this squash in one of the bigger containers out back. So we're gonna see how that goes. As far as other ones from in my gardener, I have not planted those yet. Oh, I take that back. I did plant this, the Jack B. Little, where the sugar pie pumpkin was at, because it sprouted, it grew, and then we had a pour down rain one day, and then it's like it got plummeted, so it didn't do anything. But as far as like other things from in my gardener, I'm gonna try a bunch of these next year. So I'm still waiting on this Jack B. Little pumpkin. All right, that's that. We'll put these back in here. So, you know, it could be the soil that, back to root soil that was at the bottom and just didn't do anything. I would not recommend them at all. Even the, look at their name. I'll think of it in just a minute. Alright, so, no, don't fall. Make sure I got everything out. Okay, good. Come on. Alright. So, I did plant the purple hull cowpea because I want to see if it's going to grow. So far, nothing yet. So, we'll see. The leeks, that was a no. The hyssop, yes, it grew. So, yeah, and it did really well and everything. I just need to harvest it more. But the hyssop grew. The onion seeds, they didn't get really big, but I got little baby, like little ones. So I probably have 4 of those all together, 4 to 5. And the sweet bell pepper I did not plant. And the sugar pie pumpkin, that's what I planted, and it just fizzled out. So the Detroit beets, they didn't do anything. The fennel, that didn't do anything either. The oregano, it did grow, but it smelled like motor oil, like from the car. So I'm just like, I don't know about that one. And then I did plant the Swiss chard that I got from Gail. So I haven't seen anything from that yet either. Alrighty, and then this one right here. Alrighty. Now, I just planted the cabbage for the fall. I haven't seen anything sprout up yet. The broccoli, I did the same thing for the fall. Now the carrots, I have seen the sprouts in the carrots. That's in the whiskey barrel that's towards the back door. So those have sprouted. My mustard green, my mustard has not. And the lemon balm, that did grow also. So And then I had because when I went back and I wrote down what seeds were from who and which place so I can better see what's going on. So the cayenne pepper, it did nothing. Radicchio did nothing. The orange habanero pepper did nothing. The common thyme, I'm quite sure this is the one I planted. That's the one tasted like, smelled like motor oil also. The sunflower seeds, that one did nothing. There's the sunflowers up there. It's from a seed I found from my save from last year that grew. The okra did nothing. The banana pepper, yes it did. The snap peas, they grew. We probably got like 4 of those. I did not plant the straight nut squash. I didn't plant the kidney beans either, so that's something I'll probably try next year. The leek, it did not grow. And I planted in the bush beans, I did. And we got probably like maybe roughly 6 or 7, but they're really small, but it still grew. And then the 4 o'clocks I got from Gail, they grew also. And then the asparagus, I don't want to say it didn't grow, but it did grow. It's just the tops of it that you see. It didn't grow the stalk, so I've left that in the container to see what will happen with it and everything. And I was like, that would be pretty cool if it, grows better. That's the banana pepper. And then these are the ones I planted the fall. Was this cabbage, Gail's rainbow carrot seeds that I see, and I see the little stuff on the top of the carrots. This sugar pie pumpkin, which didn't do anything. Broccoli. So this is the fall garden, the broccoli, and these Brussels sprouts, and then this cabbage, because I wanted to see some different ones, what would grow, what didn't grow, and all. So overall, not too much of a disappointing year. I just know a lot of things has to do with the soil. So next year what I'm gonna do, after the winter and everything, if it doesn't grow, I'm gonna empty the smaller containers along the side of the building here, just to fill up so it doesn't look like it's just dead dark right there. And who knows, it might grow there. But I'm gonna get some more Happy Fog soil and redo the smaller containers and get some to fill up the big containers more, because the soil does get compacted. So I've got, and some of them, the big ones are still like almost 12 inches. I can still fill it all the way up. But when I sit there and I took all the banana pepper out and I stirred that soil up and everything and got it good and going, all these little sprouts of stuff coming up. I'm like, I don't know what that is. So I'm gonna have to wait, because I don't want to pull it up in case, it could be, it might be another banana pepper plant. I don't know. So I just gotta watch them and see. I did go ahead yesterday and water the containers and everything, and added some more of the liquid fertilizer just to give it some help to go, because it's not really getting the sun like it did in the summertime. So that's why I planted cool fall crops to see what they would do. So that is it. That's what we did for Survival Seeds 2025 and other collabs, like, growing your own food and different things. And that's where I'm at. I'm still making notes and maybe plant, some different places and everything. And the seeds that didn't do anything, I will try them again, maybe a little bit earlier in the spring, because I like to direct. So, but then we have to wait for the frost. So, but we never know what may happen next year. So thank y'all for watching. God bless. Stay safe. We love y'all. And we'll see you next time on Our Treasure Home.